So Jack Catterall beats Regis Prograis over 12 rounds. Judges scoring it 116-109, 117-108, 116-109. Crazy, crazy scorecards from the judges. That was way too wide, but the right man won in the end, luckily. This was one of Jack Catterall's better performances as far as entertainment value. Catterall's one of those guys that when I'm sitting down to watch one of his fights, similar to Lawrence Okoli, I'm always thinking to myself, "Oh God, this is going to be a hard watch." But both for different reasons. Lawrence Okoli just loves to hug his opponents to death, but Jack Catterall, he just doesn't do enough. He's technically he's a very very efficient and clean fighter. He's definitely like a throwback fighter to sort of the 40s and 50s. He doesn't do anything spectacular, but when he needs to do it, he just does it. Like he'll only throw when he knows he's going to do the most impact on his opponent, which I get is the idea in boxing. It's not to burn yourself out and not to last the 12 rounds, but you're also in the entertainment business. Sometimes we don't mind seeing you being technically sound, but we want to see a bit of a slugfest as well. And when you've got arenas being filled out and people watching on TV, you want people to stay till the last round, don't you? So this was one of his, like I said, more entertaining performances, if that's the right word. But I think part of that was to do with that he had a good dance partner in Regis Prograis, and Prograis came there to have a bit of a slugfest. So that helped. I think with Catterall, sometimes you need someone up against him who's going to put it on him a bit to get a bit of a reaction out of him. And look, if he's gonna step up and potentially go on to fight the WBO champion, which at the moment is Teofimo Lopez, then Lopez is going to have a bit of a barn brawler with him. Lopez isn't going to go in there and be technically sound. Sure, he's got cute boxing IQ, but he's going to go in there and have a fight. So this is what I'm saying. It's important that Catterall has the right preparation in advance, and I don't think Prograis was a bad opponent to give him that preparation for Teofimo, if that's what they're going to do, if he wants the WBO strap. So yeah, this was one of his better performances. I still want to see Jack Catterall doing more. For me, he like I said, I hate using that word, but just show us something. Just be a bit more entertaining. Let your hands go a bit more. He went down as well, which I get. Both these guys looked like they were slipping a lot. Obviously, Prograis knocked down in the ninth, I believe it was. Obviously, that was a legit knockdown, but there was a lot of times that Regis Prograis was just falling over the ring, or he's falling around the ring all the time. I mean, why are boxers slipping on these canvases so much? I mean, I don't know what they're I don't know what they're putting on top of these canvases, but it was like an ice rink in there last night. And like I said, a lot of the times that Prograis went down, I don't know how much of that was to do with just Jack Catterall hitting him. I know it sounds weird to say, but a lot of it, like even to be fair, even the Jack Catterall one, obviously he put his hand down on the canvas, which is obviously classed as a knockdown. I get that, but I don't know. I just think a lot of fighters under on a normal canvas, they would be able to hold themselves upright from a lot of the knockdowns or the unofficial knockdowns that I saw last night. So yeah, really, really strange whatever they're putting on top of these canvases, guys. But yeah, that was the headline fight. Wasn't a bad one. I think the card in all though was a bit of a disaster. I mean, I get that you had all of the controversy with the Belotti and Gomez fight being called off. Gomez sort of pulling out at the last minute in the change room. Very, very strange. Don't really know the backstory to that, so not really going to comment, but it's strange that you'd get all the way over here, get into the dressing room, and then decide to bail. So really, really bizarre. And that forced the quality of the show to obviously drop. I mean, how can you have James Flint and Campbell Hatton as the co-main event? I mean, that's just madness. And, speaking of Campbell Hatton, this is his level, and there's no shame in that. This is at best, he's an area level guy. James Flint is an area level boxer. And if Campbell Hatton would have beaten him, then I think it would have been doing Campbell Hatton a disservice, because you've got to do the right thing and say, look, we're not going to give it to you just because you're Hatton. You know, you've got to do the right thing. It was a close fight. It wasn't like James Flint went out there and blasted him. But I've seen this before, where fighters are given the benefit of the doubt and they've gone on to take a hellacious beating further down the line because they were never given the right preparation to begin with. They were given W's when they should have been given L's. And I think Campbell Hatton, look, he's fair play to him. He's gone in there. He's had a tear up, which is more than what a lot of people do. But this is your level. And I think putting Campbell Hatton on these big shows and not allowing him to develop and progress on smaller shows behind the scenes is a disservice to him. I mean, look, maybe this was only ever the level that he was going to get to. But when you throw that name out there and put him on these big shows and have him as a co-main event, and he's even been on pay-per-view shows as well, that's not going to help, especially with all the trolls and some of the critics you've got out there. So it's one of those. I don't really see Campbell Hatton doing much after this. I think he'll have maybe... I can see him padding out other cards for Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn's stable at the minute has been so diluted over the last few years that I see Campbell Hatton now just being a guy that's going to be on these shows, because I don't know who else Eddie Hearn has actually got. I mean, looking at the quality, I've got to be honest, guys. I'm looking at the undercard last night, and I don't know who most of these people are. I really don't. I really, really don't. I appreciate that you've got, every now and again, you'll have someone come in and it's their debut or their professional debut. But I'm looking at some of these guys. I just don't know who these people are. I get it's not a pay-per-view event, but I just think this goes to show where we're at as far as Eddie Hearn's stable versus, say, a Frank Warren stable. Is Frank Warren has invested heavily in heavyweights. Eddie Hearn hasn't done anything, and he's just sort of stood on the sideline now, just watching everyone else go on by. So yeah, look, bit of a weird card. I'd say it was a below average card. I'd maybe give it like a 4, 5 out of 10. The main event was good enough. The McCormack Herrera fight was okay as well, but the quality is just not there. I mean, 7 fights as well. How many fights was it? 7 or 8? Okay, 8 fights. So maybe there was enough fights on that card as far as filling it out, but the quality just wasn't there. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think, obviously, regarding the Catterall Prograis fight, and let me know what you think about these DAZN cards overall. Do you think that Eddie Hearn needs to sort of get back to basics and start getting some more heavyweights into that matchroom stable? Let me know down below. Cheers, guys.